this is really interesting. In Green Bay, Aaron Rodgers obviously is unhappy with the front office, specifically Brian Gutekunst. And Aaron Rodgers wants to be traded, or Aaron Rodgers wants Gutekunst fired, or Aaron Rodgers wants some other pound of flesh. We'll see what that is. But he's not going to report. He's not going to be at OTAs going on now. He's not going to be at mini camps. He's not going to be at training camp. He's not going to play in the preseason, I'm sure. And we'll see if he wants to play week 1 of the NFL season. I would assume he does. But again, we are 3 months away from that, so who knows? But he's not going to play up until the actual bullets are flying and he is playing in real football games. So, not a surprise to see him not at OTAs this week. But how about this? None of his wide receivers showed up. None. Davante Adams, Marquez Valdes-Scantling. 5 of the first team or second team wide receivers for the Packers also didn't show up. Now, you might say, in these types of situations, veterans get the benefit of the doubt. Voluntary, involuntary, you know what? It's only OTAs. It's only mini camps. It's only off-season workouts. But it certainly feels like this is a group of wide receivers standing with their quarterback. Now, there's a couple of things here. This makes this super interesting. Number one, could Aaron Rodgers be behind the scenes telling his wide receivers, don't show up? Don't show up. You don't have to be there, so don't show up. And if Rodgers is pitting the team, the players, against the organization or the GM, that is diabolical. Because it's one thing for you to feel disrespected. It's one thing for you to feel like you deserve a different contract, a different respect, whatever. It's another thing to start dividing the team up and creating friction within the locker room and the entire organization. So it would be diabolical if Rodgers is doing it. I would hope he's not, because that feels like you're taking your personal grievances and making them everybody else's. But I also wouldn't put it past Rodgers, because the guy feels like, when he wants to make a point, he'll make a point. More likely than that, it's that the wide receivers either don't want to feel like they're disrespecting Aaron Rodgers, or they feel like the team's disrespecting Aaron Rodgers and that this is their point. And then that would mean that it's not just a Rodgers versus Gutekunst thing. It's that other players on the team also feel like Rodgers is right. Let's just go out and say, in this thought, that Rodgers is he's in his own corner. He's battling Gutekunst, but he has not reached out to anybody on the roster, hasn't texted Davante Adams, hasn't talked to anybody else on the team. And that this is just a bunch of wide receivers going, nope, they've screwed Aaron. We want Aaron. They should be listening to Aaron. This is our sign that we stand with Aaron. That's a pretty big deal. That's a pretty huge deal. Or the other possibility is that they don't want to upset Aaron Rodgers. That they feel like if they go to OTAs and they start working with Jordan Love, they start catching passes from Jordan Love, and they're asked questions about Jordan Love, that they're put in a terrible position where they've got to go like, yeah, the kid's got a good arm, or yeah, he looks good doing this, or whatever. And now suddenly they're being pitted against Rodgers, and they don't want to upset him because they know where their bread is buttered. That also could be at play. But it feels very coincidental that Rodgers is in a fight with management and none of the wide receivers show up at camp. None of them. Do all of them have individual reasons personally not to show up? Or are they looped together? I don't know if we'll get a really good answer on this, but it's certainly very curious. And I saw this and I said, boy, this is the type of thing that makes the Aaron Rodgers situation go to a different orbit. He's already one of the most popular, one of the most famous, one of the greatest quarterbacks of his generation. He's already a Pro Football Hall of Famer. He's already one of the biggest stars in the NFL. And he's at war with one of the most popular teams in the NFL with his GM and wants his GM fired. That's a big deal, obviously. But if he is also causing battle lines to be drawn between other players and the front office, well, that's a different war. That's a different war for the Packers. And you can't imagine a scenario where they just fire their GM, because it's not like Brian Gutekunst hasn't done a good job for them. But if it becomes you either get Aaron Rodgers and all of the wide receivers, if you fire your GM, well, there might not be a decision even to be made. It's pretty crazy. Look, it might be a coincidence. It might just be, these are off-season workouts, involuntary. Every veteran can do what they want. And each and every of the 5 starting wide receivers, or that unit, 5 different wide receivers, have their own reasons to not be there, personally. But boy, that seems far-fetched. I don't know, Mraz. This was at DEFCON 3. If you start whipping the wide receivers into a frenzy of not showing up, now you've gone to DEFCON 4. Or is it the opposite? I'm not sure which is more severe.
I think it goes by hurricanes. I think DEFCON 5 would be the biggest alarm going on, like a Category 5.
So DEFCON 1 is not so alarming. DEFCON 4, 5 is more alarming.
Yeah, and I only know this because this used to be the way my mom used to threaten us with a, when she was a kid. How angry she was. This is up to a DEFCON 5 now. So I think that's where it is.
So we are taking Nancy Mraz's definition of DEFCON when she was upset with you guys as the definition of DEFCON.
And it could be completely dangerous, as we've learned with anything I've been taught in my life. I fully understand. There is the one problem I have with this. If this is what's going on and this is the wide receivers rallying around Aaron Rodgers, I get it. But it's not as if they just brought in a guy this year off the streets on the draft that these wide receivers don't know. Not for nothing, Jordan Love is their quarterback too. He spent last year in practice with them, and I know he's not Aaron Rodgers, but he is a teammate. He is on the team, and if this is them rallying around Aaron Rodgers, it's also a complete shot at a guy they got to know for a year. And if that's the guy the Packers are grooming to be the next franchise quarterback, then by getting rid of Aaron Rodgers potentially, if you listen to him, it certainly seems like the whole team or the guys around Aaron Rodgers don't want to be there either. So does this then lead to a complete strip down of the roster if Aaron Rodgers doesn't get his wish and Gutekunst is out? I mean, what do we do?
Gutekunst?
Gutekunst, I don't know. I took a swing. Goody, my man.
Goody, my man. Yeah, at some point, these wide receivers are going to have to embrace Jordan Love because Aaron Rodgers isn't going to be there forever. But at this point, it's so sensitive, maybe, that they feel like if they show up to OTAs and they catch passes from Jordan Love, that they are disrespecting Aaron Rodgers. And right now, Rodgers is their guy, which is crazy, but it might be the reality for these guys right now.
Oh, and if I'm Jordan Love, how about you grow a spine? Screw these guys. Then when I'm the quarterback, I don't want these guys either. Get them out of here.
You're not going to throw to Devontae Adams if he's wide open. Down the
you know what?
sideline?
You want to sit there and pout because you don't want me being the quarterback that bad? I don't need you. Like, this is a terrible situation Jordan Love has been put in. And that's part of the story. He's not being told enough.
That's absolutely right. Brian Gutekunst thought he was drafting the next quarterback of the Packers and instead has ruined Jordan Love's career forever. Love hasn't done anything. Right now, everybody hates him.